Have you ever wondered why just one word, just one look, or a small twist of fate in life can shake your heart so deeply? If there are principles that help you stand firm amid every storm, living peacefully among countless changes, would you want to discover them? Today, we will walk together on a journey to explore 10 Buddhist principles, keys for you to become strong, calm, and unbreakable, whether you are listening anywhere, in bed after a long day, in a quiet apartment in a loud city, on the couch beside a window with warm light, or on a night flight gliding above the clouds. I invite you to put aside all the unfinished business. Like setting a backpack off your shoulders, slow down half a beat. Take a deep breath in, and allow yourself 3 hours of privacy to return inward. This journey is not to erase difficulties. Life still has emails unanswered, messages unread, bills due, but to change the way you stand before those difficulties, not avoiding, not blindly resisting, but standing firm, clear, and soft. Nothing can break you. Here is not to become hardened or numb, but resilience, like a bamboo branch before the wind, bending at the right moment and then standing upright again. Before moving into the 10 principles, prepare a small space, if possible. Turn off notifications, dim the screen's brightness, adjust the volume so this voice becomes a warm background. Sit or lie in a position where your body is well supported, shoulders dropping naturally, jaw relaxed, tongue resting gently on the roof of your mouth, hands open, not clenched. Now breathe in for 4 counts, hold 1, breathe out for 6 counts, and repeat, making the exhalation a bit longer, as if you are setting down a heavy suitcase. If the mind wanders, thinking about tomorrow's meeting, the conversation you have not yet found words for, a nameless sadness, regard that as something normal for a brain trying to protect you. Notice it. Smile gently, and bring your attention back to where the breath touches your nostrils. Choose for this listening a simple intention. Tonight, I practice steadiness, or, tonight, I breathe and let go of what I do not need to hold. You can whisper that intention in your mind each time you hear a bell or a piece of background music. If you are listening to fall asleep, you may allow the body to drift into rest whenever it wants. The lesson still seeps in its way. If you are listening while doing something gentle, folding clothes, walking slowly in the house, sitting quietly on the balcony, keep a steady rhythm. Let each word become the rhythm of your steps, the rhythm of your hands. In these 3 hours, we will do 3 things. 1 is to unravel common misunderstandings about happiness and suffering, because often the way we seek happiness is what makes us tired. 2 is to learn and practice the 10 principles as pocket tools, concise, easy to remember, applicable right in a busy day in New York or a sunny afternoon in Texas. And 3 is to conclude with 30 minutes of guided meditation so that the ideas just learned do not stay only in the head but fall down into the chest, into the belly, becoming lived feeling. You will not need to believe anything unless you yourself find it useful. This is not a sermon, but a practical guide. Sometimes I will tell a short story, an everyday image like the morning cup of coffee, a line at checkout, a small rain on the freeway, to bring the principle from the page into life. Sometimes I will suggest a 30-second exercise. Relax the forehead, drop the shoulders, look at something close by and name 3 shades of color you see. Small movements like flipping a switch for the nervous system to shift from tension to safety. Let us hold 3 agreements in this listening. 1. Slow down. We have been used to speed enough. 2. Be kind to yourself. All real progress begins with kindness. And 3. Return. Whenever you get lost, just return to the breath. Return to the intention sentence. Return to the feeling of your feet touching the floor. If you feel an emotion rising, anger, hurt, worry, try putting your hand on your left chest, exhaling longer, and saying silently, "This emotion is here, and I am safe, right this moment." The tone here will be direct, clear, not beating around the bush, like you are listening to a good friend, someone who understands busy work culture. respects your time, and knows that among the news, social media, achievement pressure, what you need is not another to-do list, but a few minutes to remember who you are. If you like, take a small piece of paper or a note on your phone and write a question you have been carrying recently. Why am I so easily triggered by others' words? How do I stop overthinking before sleep? Why do I feel tired even when everything is fine? Keep that question like a red thread, and let the 10 principles light it one by one throughout the journey. The background sound, wind chimes, a stream, is only like a gentle breeze pushing the sail. The boat itself is your breath. Each principle will follow 3 fixed steps for you to follow easily. Understand, concise. Practical, see, through a story. And do, a small exercise you can use immediately. These 3 steps are enough to transform an idea into a subtle habit. If you are the kind of person who likes knowing the route in advance, here is a quick map. We will begin with impermanence. To see, everything changes, not as a sad phrase but as liberation. Next is no self. To ease the grip of the ego, then compassion. So the heart becomes less defensive, letting go. So the hand stops clutching the rope that hurts the skin, mindfulness. To return to the present, right speech. So words become a refuge, right thought. So thinking does not exhaust you, right action. So your doing does not create more mess, patience and equanimity. So no wind can blow you down. And finally, meditation and wisdom. As foundation and light, each time you hear the phrase, return, you may use it as a cue. Breathe out a longer breath. Relax the hand, and place a very small smile at the corner of your mouth, now. If you are ready, let the lights in the room soften a little more. Let the outside world blur behind the door. And we will open the inner door with the first principle, impermanence, where you learn how to stand firm not because the storm stops blowing, but because you know how to stand in the rain. Principle 1. Impermanence. If you live in any city in the United States, you will recognize impermanence from the moment your day begins. Your favorite coffee mug chips at the edge in a rush. The subway is delayed by 10 minutes. An email from the company shifts the meeting time. A sudden announcement about restructuring the team. Or rain starts pouring when the forecast said, light sunshine. Our usual reaction is, why is this happening? As if life had signed a permanent stability contract with us. But the truth is, it signed no contract with anyone. Everything moves. Health, emotions, relationships, careers, housing prices, the job market. Even the very idea of who I am changes color over the years. It might sound scary, but to someone who knows how to see clearly, impermanence is good news, because if everything changes, then this sadness will not stay forever. This anxiety will eventually ease. A bad habit can be replaced with a better one. And even the belief, this is just how I always react, is a story that can be rewritten. Impermanence does not ask us to become numb. It teaches us to love deeply without clinging, to give our best without tying our identity to the result, and to savor each moment knowing it will pass, which is exactly what makes it beautiful. When you embrace impermanence, you are no longer dragged around by every twist and turn like a boat without an anchor, because your anchor is not in keeping everything still, but in your ability to adapt, to understand, and to let go at the right moment. Let me tell you a simple everyday story. One morning in Brooklyn, a middle-aged man was making coffee, using the ceramic mug his son had given him for Father's Day. It was just a normal morning, until his hand slipped. The mug hit the wooden floor and shattered into 3 large pieces and many smaller ones. His first reaction was anger. Why am I always so clumsy? His second reaction was guilt. I could not even take care of what my child gave me. His third reaction turned the moment into a tragedy. Well, this whole day is ruined now. His wife, who had weathered a few major life storms, came over and said nothing like, "Do not be sad," or "It is not a big deal." Instead, she simply handed him a broom and a cloth, and calmly said, "This mug was born to break someday. Today just happened to be that day. But your child's love, that does not live in the mug. He knelt down to gather the pieces and suddenly noticed the coffee still smelled good. The sunlight still fell on the table, and a quiet space opened up inside him. A space just wide enough for a new truth to enter. Everything has its own life cycle. And most of our pain comes from thinking it should not. That afternoon, he bought a tube of glue and put the 3 large pieces back together. The smaller fragments he placed in a glass jar next to the family photo. Every now and then, when he looks at it, he remembers that morning, and his wife's words. Some things are beautiful because they are fragile. Not despite it. From that day on, whenever his job changed direction, a project got cancelled, or a weekend plan fell through because the kids were sick, he stopped yelling at life, stopped yelling at himself, and instead, whispered one sentence. This is the mug-breaking day for this thing. You can see impermanence right now with a short exercise. Look around the room and choose any object, a photo, a houseplant, your computer screen, the chair you are sitting on, and quietly say to yourself, one day, this thing will leave me, and I will be okay. Not to push it away or devalue it, but to put it in perspective. We cherish because we know tomorrow is not promised. Then turn inward. The version of you from 5 years ago likely no longer exists. And the version 5 years from now has yet to arrive. This current you is a bridge. And when you realize you are the bridge, you stop pinning yourself to an old identity. You become gentler with your mistakes and with others, and you open the door to change. If you are struggling with an emotion that feels like a heavy rock pressing against your chest, anxiety, jealousy, anger, place your palm over your heart. Inhale for 4 counts, exhale for 6 counts, and gently whisper, this feeling is visiting me. It is not who I am. Do that 5 times. Many people in America live with packed calendars, deadlines stacked on deadlines, and their bodies locked in high alert mode all day. That tiny exercise will not solve everything, but it opens a window. And sometimes, one open window is enough for the air to change. Applying impermanence in modern life means we must rearrange our expectations. When you step into an important meeting, quietly remind yourself, this result is impermanent too. That does not mean you prepare any less. It means you will not be crushed if things turn out differently. When you receive praise on social media, smile and tell yourself, this will change too. You enjoy it without becoming addicted. When you receive a harsh comment, remind yourself again, this will also change. Listen to any truth it might carry, and let the rest drift by. When it comes to money and career, impermanence teaches us to diversify where we place our sense of worth, not to tie all of it to a job title or a number in a bank account. Build softer anchors like kind relationships, good health, flexible skills, and simple joys. In love, impermanence does not make love weaker, it makes it deeper. Because you understand that a beautiful day does not have to last forever to matter. We learn to speak kindly today, to apologize today, to say thank you today, because no one knows what tomorrow's email will bring. And with loss, impermanence allows us to grieve with clarity. Crying because you miss someone is completely natural. Just do not let that pain freeze you inside the thought that life should have been different. Life is not should. Life is what has been and what is, and inside what is. There is always room for a new step forward. Here is a 60-second pocket practice you can use whenever life shakes you too hard. Pause. Check the time, and whisper 3 sentences. I am breathing. Everything is changing. I choose to respond, not react. Then touch something solid, a table, a door frame, the steering wheel if you are parked, to tell your body you are here. If you are riding the subway or standing in line at the store, try spotting 3 things that are definitely changing right now: the flickering lights, footsteps, the flow of people in and out, so your brain can register that change is the normal state of the world, not a personal attack. At night, write down 3 lines. something that arrived today, something that left, and something that is changing. Keep it short, like joy, a message from an old friend, gone, movie plans because of rain, changing, how I respond to criticism. Those 3 lines build a quiet but lasting bridge between understanding and habit. You might ask, if everything is impermanent, what about goals, discipline, dreams? Where do they fit? The answer is, they also live inside impermanence, which is why we work with rhythm, not obsession. You set a 6-month goal, but check in weekly to update your reality, not clinging to the old plan as your identity. You stay disciplined but know when your body needs rest. You dream, but let that dream be a lighthouse, not a hand pulling you underwater every time the waves get rough. Impermanence teaches us to walk like seasoned hikers, eyes on the horizon for direction, but feet steady on the next rock right in front of us. Step by step, long enough, becomes a path, and that path, not some immovable destination, is what makes you unbreakable. When the principle of impermanence begins to sink in, you will start to hear life differently. When things are going well, you will say, "Thank you," more deeply, because you know nothing lasts. When things fall apart, you will keep enough distance not to be swept away. That distance does not make you cold, it makes you clear. And from that clarity, you can choose a kind, effective response. Right now, if there is something weighing on you, a harsh word, an unpaid bill, a medical result that has not come back, try placing it inside the frame of impermanence. Imagine you are standing beside a river. Place that thing on the surface of the water and watch it float, not denying it, not exaggerating it. Then return to your breath, to the feeling of your feet on the floor, to the smallest sound in the room. Return. That is the verb of someone who understands impermanence. And once you have found a steady place to stand in this first principle, we will open the next door, non-self, where we learn to loosen our grip on the I, so that no word or glance has the power to pull us away from our natural peace. Principle 2. Non-self. Growing up in the United States, we are taught very early to define ourselves, pick a sport, pick a school, pick a major, pick a version of me that looks good enough on the job application, a mixture of labels, title, salary, zip code, car brand, the school our child attends, the number of steps we walk each day. Social media turns those labels into a dashboard. Each time there is another like or an endorsement is added, it is as though someone pats you on the shoulder. You are somebody. And each time you are criticized, miss an opportunity, or someone unsubscribes, you feel like someone ripped off a piece of your name tag. Non-self does not tell you to erase your whole profile, does not ask you to fade into the background, and does not deny personal responsibility. It only invites you to step back half a pace to see the me you hugged so tightly is really just a stream of conditions. This body is built from your parents' genes, eating habits of your community, the pace of life in a city. This personality is woven by your experiences, good or bad teachers, old bosses fair or harsh, one heartbreak at 16, one compliment at 20, and even beliefs that you think, "I have always been like this," also change with the seasons. Remember when you were not a runner at all, before you set your first 5K personal record? If you look more closely, you see your body-mind operates like a system of phenomena. Feelings rise and then fade. Thoughts arrive and depart. Memories spring sharp then blur. So, I, like a pretty logo, is just a convenient way to refer to a complex system, not a solid unchanging block. Understanding this, you take fewer things personally. You stop letting one word, one email, one glance cut straight through to your heart. It ceases to be, "They attacked me," but becomes, "A discomfort is present." It is not, "I failed," but, "This plan, under these conditions, did not work yet." And from that place you have space to respond with wisdom instead of reacting with defense. Let me share a common workplace story from Seattle to Miami. Sarah, a product manager at a mid-sized tech company, leads a project for 3 months that she hopes will be her career breakout. On Monday morning, the vice president sends public feedback on Slack. The recent release lacked edge case testing, affecting 3% of users. The team needs tighter QA process. That short message stabs into Sarah's chest like a needle. In her mind, a trial instantly erupts. I am incompetent. People think I cannot do this. I might be fired. Her hands go cold. Her shoulders tense. Her neck stiffen. That is the reflex of identification, attaching that feedback directly to her value. But Sarah has been meditating for a few weeks, so she tries something different. She fixes her eyes on her breath, notices the heat in her chest. The thought, I am incompetent, appearing like a caption on a screen. The urge to defend herself immediately, and she whispers silently, in her mind, feeling, thought, impulse. She remembers a small principle. Labeling helps separate oneself. When the labels, feeling, thought, impulse, show up, I am under attack, steps back into a happening in my system. 5 minutes later, Sarah has enough space to open the Slack thread again. Read carefully. The VP is talking about process, not saying, Sarah is bad. She messages the QA lead. I would like to map out edge case checklist with you. Tomorrow at 9? Later that day, she messages the VP privately. Thank you for the feedback. I have scheduled changes to our process. Here is a summary of risks and mitigations. The VP replies, good leadership. Sarah does not swallow bitterness. She passes through the emotion without making it her identity. If she had believed, I am this project, she would either crumble or build defensive walls. Because she sees non-self, she neither breaks nor hardens, she becomes supple. But without self, who takes responsibility? Who sets boundaries? Who dreams? This is a very American question, and also a good one. Non-self does not remove responsibility. Non-self removes illusion. Responsibility becomes clearer because you see dependent links. A bad outcome is not because I am bad as a judgment, but because 12 links were weak. Lack of people, lack of data, lack of time, lack of proper checks. Seeing that chain, you fix it rather than constantly beating yourself up. Boundaries become clearer because when you are not identical with a vulnerable self, you can say no calmly. I will not take that weekend shift is not I am selfish, but a truthful act in recognition that your body needs rest. Dreams in non-self do not die. They escape obsession. You still strive for CPA. Finish your master's degree. Open a small shop in Portland. But each day you lay down bricks because you love the road, not because you must prove who I am. The risk of clinging too tightly to self is that whenever someone touches one of your labels, title, body, age, status, you react as though insulted. Non-self gives you both freedom and courtesy. Freedom from dependency on labels. Courtesy because you realize the other person is also a system of conditions. They are acting from their own set of causes, often suffering too. From that you attack less, mock less, wage fewer small wars in the company kitchen. A 90-second exercise to experience non-self right now. Whether you are listening in Boston or Boise. Label. When a thought arises, they do not respect me, whisper, thought. When a feeling appears, heat in chest, tightness in throat, whisper, feeling. When an impulse to retaliate rises, whisper, impulse. Just those 3 labels create a distance as wide as freedom. RAIN mini. Recognize, notice it. Allow, let it be. Investigate, observe the body, chest, belly, jaw. Non-identification. This is present in me, but is not me. Open hand. Let your fingers relax. Imagine holding a block of ice. When you squeeze, your hand hurts. When you open your hand, the ice remains for a while then melts. Emotions are similar. You do not have to throw them away. Just open your hand. Do it slow enough so the nervous system shifts from fight or flight to I am safe. If you are busy, Embed this exercise at fixed points in your day, elevator doors closing. Before clicking send, when you stop at a red light, each anchor point is a little door out of the cramped room called I am threatened. To make non-self usable in real daily life in America, try changing how you talk to yourself. Instead of I am someone who procrastinates, say, the tendency to procrastinate is present. I set a timer for 10 minutes of deep work. Instead of I am hot-tempered, say, a wave of heat is rising. I will walk for 3 minutes before responding. Instead of I am a failure, say, plan A did not run. I note the data. Then try B. Language does more than describe, it shapes experience. Just one word, present, instead of am, shifts you from judgment into process. When you live as a process, you cannot be broken, because breaking is for rigid things. Flow bends and moves on. In relationships, non-self helps you listen to someone you love without building defensive walls. When someone says, "You make me feel alone," instead of hearing, "You are bad," you hear, "Loneliness is happening in that person," and you can step forward. Ask more, adjust together. In the workplace, non-self helps you receive feedback like the weather. Carry an umbrella if it rains. Dress lightly if it is warm, but do not sue the sky. In parenting, non-self helps you let go of the illusion that your child must match the plan. The child is also a flow of conditions. You stop trying to mold. Stop labeling good, bad child. You increase observation, increase companionship. In health, non-self helps you exercise because the body needs movement, not to prove something in the mirror. And when facing loss, a loved one gone, a relationship ended, non-self allows you to cry like rain, fall fully, but not turn the downpour into your name. If you want a small nightly ritual to nurture non-self, you can write 3 lines in a journal. Where was I identified? For example, I identified with the email from my boss. Felt ashamed. The moment I separated, for example, I labeled thought. I inhaled 4 counts, exhaled 6, responded clearly. A reminder sentence for tomorrow. For example, swap am for present. If you like, set a gentle intention before sleep. Tomorrow, whenever I hear the word return, I breathe out long and soften my hand. Let the word return continue to be a signal, a bell without sound, that leads you from the cramped room of ego to a wide porch where life passes like cool wind. On that porch, you are still you, with laughter, habits, unique preferences, but you are no longer stuck in a single frame. And from the spacious place of non-self, the heart naturally loosens its defense. Hands unclench. The next door opens gently. Compassion, not weakness or compromise, but strength that knows how to heal for oneself and others. That turns conflict into understanding, turns an ordinary day into a safe place for both of you to breathe. In the next part, we will go into compassion as a skill you can train, not merely a pretty idea. With short practices you can use right in your lunch break or while standing in line at a coffee shop. Principle 3. Compassion. In the United States, we are very well taught about right versus wrong, winners versus losers, productivity versus results. But the human heart does not operate by spreadsheets. It operates by feeling safe. Compassion is not pity. It is not weakness. And it is not unconditionally enduring everything. Compassion is the healing strength. It is seeing your own suffering and the suffering of others without judgment, and then choosing responses that help both sides feel safer and clearer. Compassion comes paired with wisdom and boundaries. Without wisdom, compassion can become over-rescue, solving for others, carrying burdens for them until you are exhausted. Without boundaries, compassion becomes letting others walk all over you. But when paired with wisdom and boundary, compassion is like the pilot's oxygen. It gives you breath at the right time so you can stay calm and navigate the situation. Let me take you into a scene very typical in America. It is a Friday afternoon in the parking lot of a supermarket in California. the air still holding heat. A man, we will call him Mike, is pushing his cart toward a parking spot when he sees an SUV backing up, almost hitting his car. His first reflex, shoulders stiff, heart racing, and the instant, sharp thought, seriously, clutched in his throat. The woman in the SUV opens her door, her face tight, speaking fast. "I am sorry. I did not see you." Mike almost says something harsh, but catches himself halfway. He recalls the stop exercise. Stop, pause. Take a breath. Observe what is going on inside. Heat in the chest, jaw tight, etc. Proceed with the best option. After 3 breaths, his eyes drift to the backseat of the SUV. A child's car seat. A diaper bag unzipped. Baby formula boxes scattered. The woman has dark rings under her eyes. Phone screen shows an alert. Mom. A picture forms. Maybe her mother is in the emergency room. She had just picked up her child. Maybe she is running on fumes. Mike's voice softens. "It is okay. I will back up a little so you can get out more comfortably. Do you want me to help you with your cart?" The woman, startled, nods, says a quiet thanks. 5 minutes later, no one won or lost, but both feel lighter. Mike didn't hold in for the sake of peace. He responded from a wider place. Saw the person, not only the mistake, and he kept his boundary. Checks the car. Offers help if he can. Not taking more than he can manage. This is practical compassion. Not showy. Not preachy. But shifting the scene from confrontation to cooperation in a few breaths. With yourself. Compassion is the antidote to that very American fatigue of constant self-evaluation. How many times do you close your laptop at 10 o'clock p.m. and the first thought is, "I am still not enough"? Self-compassion does not say, "Just let it go." It says, "This is a human moment." Everyone doing life meets tiredness, mistakes, limits. I am trying in the conditions I have. From there we shift from self-harshness to self-support. Sleep enough. Ask for help. Break tasks into smaller steps. Speak realistic expectations. The next morning, you do more, not because you pushed, but because you are recharged. To use compassion right in the middle of the American speed of life. You can practice it as a 3-step skill. See clearly. Name what is happening. With yourself. I am feeling tight in the shoulders and blaming myself for that email. With others. They are speaking loudly because they are afraid of being ignored. Naming is like turning on a light. Soften. Relax one part of your body, shoulders, jaw, forehead. Breathe 4 counts in, 6 counts out. Put a hand on your chest if it helps. When the body softens, the mind listens. Small step. Ask, what is one kind, practical step for yourself? Stand up. Get water. Write 3 bullet points to start again. For the other, I hear you are worried. Let us agree on one thing first. Another tool is called lens, a lens to view things. Look, see the wider context. Empathize. This must be very hard. Need, what is really needed here? Say, set. Speak clearly and set a boundary. For example, at work. I understand the team is under deadline pressure. Empathize. My need is to keep pickup time with my child. Need. I can meet for 30 minutes at 9 tomorrow and then send you the checklist. Say, set. Compassion is not the same as always accommodating. Sometimes, firm compassion is needed. That way of speaking makes me feel belittled. We can continue, but let us keep respect. You speak calmly, briefly, describing behavior and its impact rather than labeling the person. If the behavior continues, you leave. Compassion prioritizes safety. You do not stay in a harmful situation just to prove you are kind. In family, compassion shows up as a holding space. Child crying before school? Instead of, stop crying. Try. What are you afraid of? Just one thing. Name the fear. Break things down. Hug for 20 seconds. Nervous system of the child, and yours, reset. In relationships, compassion is listening to what lies under the blame. When someone says, You make me feel lonely. Often there is a need for meaningful attention 10 minutes each a day. You do not argue, I am busy. You schedule 10 minutes without phones after dinner. Small but lasting. On the road, try metta in traffic. See the car that cut in front. Whisper, in your mind, softly, not sarcastic, may you be safe, may I be safe, may all be safe. This is not justifying bad driving. It reduces anger's venom so you drive wisely. On social media, before typing a critical reply, take a breath and ask, do I want to be right? Or do I want to be helpful? If you want helpful, you ask questions or scroll past. Compassion is also choosing not to engage in useless fights. If you like a ritual of 2 minutes before sleep, or before a meeting, here is a simple version. 20 seconds. Sense the body, hand on chest or belly. Breathe 4 counts in, 6 counts out. Whisper, this is a human moment. 40 seconds. 3 rounds of metta, loving kindness. Softly, naturally, for yourself. May I be well. May I be healthy. May I have peace. For a neutral person, a coworker you seldom talk to, may you be well. For a difficult person, someone you are upset with, may you be well, and may I keep my boundaries. 60 seconds. Small action. Send a message asking for support. Set a reminder to drink water, or confirm one next step clearly. In work, compassion improves feedback quality. Instead of, your report sucks, say, the data section is good. The conclusion needs clearer alignment with assumptions and risks. I suggest emphasizing 3 points like this. You are not softening standards, you soften the path towards standards. With yourself, when you mess up, try AAA. Acknowledge, name the specific error. I sent the wrong file. Amend, corrected. I have sent the correct one plus note the differences. Aim, set intention. I will use a checklist before I press send. Errors become lessons, not sentences. The key point. Compassion is a habit, not an inspiration. Want strong muscles? You train repeatedly. Want compassion steady? You also practice repeatedly, at 4 anchor times through the day. Morning, when you are not rushing, 3 metta sentences for yourself. Midday, when stress rises, stop plus lens in one situation. Late afternoon, before leaving work, 1 minute of breathing to switch roles from work mode to family mode. Evening, before sleep, write 2 lines. One moment I was compassionate. One place tomorrow I will set a boundary. And remember, compassion does not always feel sweet. Sometimes it is a hard email, a conversation about boundary, a decision to leave a toxic space. But in those moments, you build a soft backbone, soft to feel, backbone to stand. When the heart is less defensive, hands know when to open and when to close. You will find the next principle becomes natural. Letting go, the art of releasing what hurts so you reclaim energy and direction. In our next part, we will learn how to let go in the right places at the right times, not giving up, but shedding what weighs so you can go farther. Principle 4. Letting go. In a world that praises, taking on more projects for promotion, more stuff to feel enough, more metrics to feel valuable, letting go sounds like failure. But for someone learning to live well, letting go is a crucial skill for preserving energy and direction. It is an active act of releasing the rope that is hurting your hand so you can keep walking. Not giving up. In the United States, you see those ropes everywhere. A work schedule so packed there's no breathing space. A relationship that no longer feels safe but you keep explaining it away. Perfectionism that makes every email take 45 minutes. Ghost scrolling that steals hours of sleep. A garage full of things you will use someday. Our minds cling for 3 reasons. 1. The illusion of control. Holding tight means safety. 2. Sunk cost. We have invested time, money, youth, so letting go feels wasteful. 3. Identity fusion. This thing becomes me. Letting go begins when you clearly see Holding tight no longer serves your current values. And the cost of clutching is greater than what you gain. Try looking directly at one rope in your life right now. A useless recurring meeting. A group chat that makes you anxious. A goal set last year that does not align with who you are today. And ask yourself 3 questions. Is this still right? Is it good? Is it useful right now? If you answer no to 2 or more, that is a signal to loosen your grip. Here is a common story. Jenna, a night shift nurse in Denver, after the pandemic still kept insisting on never skipping a shift because she felt guilty to say no. Her body was out of rhythm, bad sleep, irritable, mind like it carried gray clouds. She also maintained a relationship mostly through text, many promises, little real presence, because she thought, I am 33. So I must try harder. One evening, after a 14-hour shift, Jenna sits in her car. She is gripping the steering wheel so tightly even though the car is off. She looks at her knuckles, white, and she suddenly understands. Her body is speaking what her mind has been too afraid to say. The next day she does 3 things. Sends an email asking to drop a fixed Wednesday shift to give herself a clean night. Removes 2 useless 30-minute meetings from her schedule with a replacement. Send 5 bullet update by 3 p.m. and messages the other person. I appreciate you, but my need is consistent presence. If that is not possible, I must stop here. Fear hits. I'm selfish. I'll be alone. I'll lose money. But 10 days later, Jenna sleeps 7 full hours for the first time in months, learns to cook simple dinners again, and finds a sweet gap in her calendar. That gap is not laziness, it's soil to grow strength again. Letting go does not make life easy, but it removes excess so the real challenges can be addressed. To make letting go work as a skill, you can practice in 3 layers: body, mind, life. A. The body. The place where clinging is most visible, shoulders tense, jaw clenched, hands gripping. Do a 60-second breathe, release, touch exercise. Inhale normally. Exhale longer, count 6. During the exhale, imagine opening a clenched hand holding a stone. Then touch a solid surface, desk edge, door frame, so your nervous system registers, I am safe. Do 5 rounds, especially before pressing send, entering a meeting, or after a dispute. Let muscle release become a signal. When the body opens, the mind begins to loosen. B. The mind. Replace the language of must with choose instead of I must keep this project. Try I choose to keep this because. I choose to stop because. Language gives power. Also, shift from am to being. I am scared that if I let go I will fail. Fear is a state, not identity. Write a letter, not to send. I am grateful for this because it taught me. I let this go because now I need. When you finish, fold it, put it in a drawer, or tear it up if it feels lighter. C. In life. Use the popular 4Ds framework but add mindfulness. Delete, unsubscribe from ads. Delete addictive apps. Do this in 5 minutes. Delegate. Pass off tasks that do not need your stamp. Defer. Schedule something instead of carrying it in your head. Do. If it takes 2 minutes, do it now. Also apply the 1 in, 1 out rule for possessions. Buy 1 item, donate or discard 1. And 1 in, none out for schedule. Before you add something new, ask, what old thing do I let go? If there is none, do not add. Letting go does not mean giving up. It means releasing attachments. Dropping wrong roads. Discarding shortcuts that cut corners so you can move in the right direction. At work, letting go of blind perfectionism to favor faster feedback cycles. Release smaller versions. Get feedback. Iterate. In family, let go of the expectation that the other should understand without speaking. Replace it with a clear agreement, for example, 10 minutes without phones after dinner. In personal finance, let go of impulse buys by using a 72-hour rule. Add to a wish list. If after 72 hours you still need it, and it fits the budget, only then purchase. In health, let go of an unrealistic goal like 6 workouts per week. By making it core 3 workouts plus 2 bonus ones, you stick with it longer. So, you are healthier. On social media, let go of useless arguments. Ask, right or helpful? Then leave the thread if it is not helpful. In the mind, let go of prolonged self-blame. Use the AAA formula from before, acknowledge. Amend, aim, accept what was, fix what can be, turn toward what will be, rather than staying in the graveyard of, if only. A weekly ritual of 10 minutes, Sunday evening or Monday morning, to cut ropes steadily. Open 3 lists, keep, try, release. Keep are things that nourish you, sleep, movement, 1 or 2 healthy relationships. Try are small 7-day experiments. For example, mute 1 group chat. Release are things you have tested and no longer serve, 1 meeting, 1 subscription, 1 old expectation. Put a concrete action next to each item. Unsubscribe, send email, set reminder. At the bottom write a short warm commitment. I release X so I have space for Y. Then return to a 4 to 6 breath and unclench your hands. Let the body mark the mind's decision. Give space also for the hard releases, forgiveness and regret. Forgiveness is not saying, everything is okay. Forgiveness is stopping letting that past thing define you. You can practice metta with boundary. May you be well, and may I be safe. Keeping appropriate space. Regret. A course abandoned. An opportunity missed. Ritualize. Pick a small symbol, an old ticket stub. Printed offer email. Thank it for bringing you here. Then put it in a fixed place so your mind stops looping. What if? When it appears, whisper. On that day, with the data I had, I made that choice. Today, with new data, I choose differently. That is letting go through wisdom, not through, if only. Lastly, remember that letting go is the breathing rhythm of a long journey. Inhale, receive. Learn, act. Exhale, release. Choose, step back. If you feel exhausted, it might not be because you are weak, but because you are holding too many things that have expired. Try exhaling long right now. Opening your hand, looking around. Pick 1 small thing to release tonight. A browser tab, a bit of self-blame, a piece of clothing you no longer wear. The moment you feel a small gap open, you will understand. Letting go does not make you less. Letting go makes space for being fully you. And when that gap exists, the next principle becomes a natural step. Mindfulness, the art of being exactly where you are. To see, to understand, and to act wisely before the world pulls you away. Principle 5. Mindfulness. Mindfulness is not about thinking of nothing or forcing your mind to go silent. It is the ability to be fully present with what is going on. Inside, breath, sensations, thoughts, and outside, sounds, light, the person across from you, without rushing to judge. Amid the fast pace of American life, tight schedules, non-stop alerts, freeways, supermarkets open 24 hours a day, one can so easily slip into autopilot. Hands working, eyes seeing, but mind somewhere else. Mindfulness moves you from being on automatic to being in charge. Through a tiny gap called the pause, where you notice you are about to react, and you choose a different response. Not mystical, no need for scented candles. Just return to where you are standing. Imagine a Monday morning in Chicago. You open your eyes and your hand is already on your phone. 3 minutes of scrolling becomes 15. Your body has not left the bed, but your mind has run through your boss's email, the weather forecast, the gas prices. You pour coffee, half your mind in your 9 o'clock meeting, half rehearsing last night's conversation, and the coffee spills on the kitchen counter. Your first reflex is, here we go again. Mindfulness begins right at that coffee spill. You pause half a beat. Breathe in normally, breathe out a little longer. Feel the warmth at your fingertips as you wipe the counter. Smell the coffee truly. You are not becoming a Buddha by wiping the counter. But a small wave of agency returns. From that little wave, the rest of the morning shifts track. To make mindfulness work even in a busy life, anchor it into fixed anchor points of the day. Instead of trying to sit in meditation for 30 minutes, when the schedule will not allow it. Anchor 1. When your hand touches a doorknob, stop for 2 breaths of 4 to 6 count. Inhale for 4 counts. Exhale for 6, so your body registers a scene change. From bedroom right pointing arrow kitchen. From home right pointing arrow car. From parking lot right pointing arrow office. 2 breaths are enough to reset the nervous system out of tension mode. Anchor 2. When you open your laptop or place your hands on the steering wheel. Whisper, in your head, what is my intention? A short phrase. Write 3 clear bullet points. Drive safely. Intention shapes attention. Anchor 3. When you hear a notification, email, message, add half a beat before responding. Notice the sender's name. Sense your chest, then open. You are not slowing life. You are driving life. There is a 90-second practice strong enough to carry you across America, parking the car. Waiting for the elevator. Standing in line at Starbucks. Stop, both soles rooted to the ground, shoulders drop naturally. Orient, scan the room. 1 object farthest away you see. 1 sound farthest away you hear. The brain understands, I am safe here and now. Sense, do 3 rounds of breathing. Inhale 4 counts. Exhale 6 counts. Notice contact points. Heels, thighs, back resting in chair. Choose, ask. What is 1 small helpful next step? Then do exactly 1 thing. The crux of mindfulness is seeing without clinging. When a thought arises, they are disrespecting me, label it thought. When your chest heats up, feeling. When you want to fire off that email, impulse. Those 3 labels create distance by the thickness of freedom. From that distance, you can choose short reply, ask for more data, or walk 2 minutes before responding. No longer, I am anger. But anger is present in me. In the family, mindfulness is the art of role shifting. Before entering or leaving the house, stand at the threshold for 3 breaths. Inhale, exhale, set an intention, 10 minutes without electronic devices with my child. Say thank you to my partner for dinner. Those small rituals build a little culture inside the home. At work, mindfulness transforms meetings from argument contests into problem solving. Start the meeting with 1 sentence from each person. The outcome I want by the end of this meeting is, in 60 seconds. Everyone reorients their focus, reducing conflict and distraction. You can try the 3 points 3A to bring mind back even amid movement. Air. Is there cold air at your nostrils? Warm at your throat? Anchor. Feet pressed into shoes. Back touching chair. Hands touching steering wheel. Ambient. 1 distant sound. Air conditioning. 1 nearby sound. Keyboard. These 3 points are enough to change your frame of reference from in the head to in the body and in the room. A little story from an office in Austin. David is about to present. Heart racing. Stomach tight. Head already scripting bad outcomes. Right before entering the room, he places his hand on the doorframe. 2 breaths 4 to 6. Eyes glance at a light in a far corner of the room. He whispers, I present data. I do not become data. He enters. Opens 30 seconds of shared breath with the team. Allow me 3 breaths so everyone can settle. Then we begin. The atmosphere changes instantly. The slides are slides. People are people. The pause lets wisdom enter. Mindfulness also means adjusting rhythm. You do not need to be super alert all day. Think in cycles of 25 to 50 minutes of focus plus 3 to 5 minutes of reset. Stand up. Relax your jaw. Look far away for 20 seconds. Think 20-20-20 rule for eyes. Short resets sustain productivity better than any 3-hour stretch of strict intensity. And in times when sleep is hard to come by, instead of fighting sleep, return to touch points. 4 parts of the body being supported: heels, calves, buttocks, shoulder blades. Exhale longer. Whisper. Returning. You do not force sleep. You open the possibility for sleep to arrive. 3 common traps when practicing mindfulness, so you can avoid them. Trying to blank the mind. The goal is not total silence. The goal is awareness. Noise may still be there. You just add someone who knows the noise. Measuring too early. Today I managed 7 minutes. So I am good? Shift to the question. After 2 minutes. Was I able to choose differently yet? Using it like a painkiller. Mindfulness is not for escaping emotions. It helps you feel without being swept away, so that you can act rightly. To turn mindfulness into a measurable habit, try the 7-day map. Short, real, doable. Morning. After brushing teeth, right pointing arrow, 2 breaths, 4 to 6 plus a 7-word intention sentence. For example, today I speak slowly and listen clearly. Noon. Before eating, right pointing arrow, look at the food for 3 seconds. Smell for 3 seconds. Chew the first 3 bites with no screen. Afternoon. When you open laptop the second time, right pointing arrow, write 1 sentence, desired outcome, for that work block. Evening. Before sleep, right pointing arrow, 3 lines right now, 1 thing that came today. 1 thing that left. 1 thing I am grateful for. Exhale longer. If you have young children, you can play the sense detective game. How many shades of blue are in this room? Can you hear 2 distant sounds? Is there something warm touching your hand? Children whine less. Adults get less frazzled. Whole family less tense. When anxiety suddenly strikes, a hard message, blaring horn, urgent email, use the mini SOS. Stay, stand still. Out breath. Exhale fully. Scan. Quickly check. Forehead, jaw, shoulders, let them drop. Then touch something solid, edge of a table, chair, steering wheel. The body learns very quickly the safe signal. After a few times it becomes a path worn smooth. Finally, remember, mindfulness will not solve every problem for you. It changes how you approach problems, more clearly. Half a beat slower, more kindly toward yourself and others. And that clarity, slowness, kindness makes you harder to break. From this foundation, we step into the next principle, where speech becomes a place of refuge for yourself and others. Right speech, speaking in a way that is true, kind, beneficial, reducing friction, increasing trust, and guiding a workday or a relationship toward light. Principle 6. Right speech. In the American rhythm of life, relentless emails, Slack notifications pinging, 15-minute stand-ups, FaceTime calls while driving on the freeway. Much of our exhaustion does not come from what we have to do, but from how we speak to one another. Vague, beating around the bush, lightly sarcastic, or blasting off messages while our emotions are still flaming. Right speech is not about sounding nice or polite in a social surface way. It is a discipline of using words to do 3 things. Clarify the truth, lessen suffering for both speaker and listener, and guide things in the right direction. Speaking truthfully does not mean speaking a lot, nor does it mean conceding. It means a code of clear, truthful, kind, useful, timely. And in a culture that prizes efficiency, right speech is the steering wheel that lets you drive fast and safely. Let us begin with a familiar scene in any office from Seattle to Atlanta. It is 9:13 in the morning. Emily pings Raj on Slack. Hey, did you push the fix? We are blocked. Raj has just left his dentist appointment. He reads it quickly. Feels blamed. Heart rate goes up. He types back. Not my fault. Product did not give a C. Emily reads it. Feels attacked. Prepares to add channel. We are slipping because engineering. Only 45 seconds have passed. But enough to make the whole day heavy. If right speech were on. Same facts, different words. Emily pauses half a beat. Shifts from blame to description plus need plus request. We have not seen the fix yet and the QA window starts in 20 minutes. Are you able to push by 9:30? Or should we adjust the plan? Raj, instead of going defensive, uses bluff. Bottom line up front. Bottom line. Pushing by 9:40 is realistic. We missed the acceptance criteria on an edge case. I can add a patch. I will update the ticket in 5 minutes. Both are still fast, still practical, but nobody ends up bleeding. Right speech does not make you weak, it makes you effective. To make right speech habitual, you need a filter of 10 seconds before speaking or messaging. Call it THINK plus T, true, helpful, important, necessary, kind plus timely. Is this true? Does it help the process? Is it important to the listener? Is it necessary right now? Or could it wait or be grouped into a recap? Is the way I express this kind? And is it timely? Are they driving? Caring for kids? Just coming out of an emergency room? Getting through just 3 of the 6 gates already cuts 70% of unnecessary friction. Next are the 3 C's. Clear, right as if speaking to someone who has slept only 4 hours, calm, short sentences. No unnecessary exclamation points. Concrete, have numbers. Deadlines, actions. For example, an American-style 5-line email with bluff up front. Subject: Friday release risk. Need 30-minute QA extension. Line 1. Bluff. Risk of missing edge case acceptance criteria. Proposing 30-minute extension to 2:30 p.m. Lines 2 to 3. Short situation plus data. Line 4. Option A, Option B. Line 5. Clear ask. Please reply by 11:30. You do not need flowery language. You need structure so others can decide. When you must have a difficult conversation, feedback, boundaries, conflict, use 1-1-1. 1 observation, 1 impact, 1 request. When you showed up 15 minutes late to last week's meeting, observation. The team's decisions were delayed and tensions rose, impact. This week I would like us to start at 9:05. If you will be late, please ping me 10 minutes ahead, request. It is short. It does not label character. You are irresponsible, and it opens room for change. If the situation is more complex, use OFNR, observation, feeling, need, request. For example, in a family. Last night when we were talking, you looked at your phone, observation. I felt neglected, feeling. I need 10 minutes of your full presence, need. Could we talk without devices from 8 o'clock to 8:10 p.m. tonight? Request. In healthcare, tech. When escalating risk, use SBAR, situation, background, assessment, recommendation. So busy people capture the core in 30 seconds. The framework you use matters less than that you use a framework, because framework keeps you from slipping into attack. Here is a bank of phrases you can use right away. Vietnamese plus example English sentences. Since colleagues or partners in the US are used to this tone. Encryption for clarity instead of guessing. De Chak Hu Dung. Why ban la? Just to confirm. Do you mean? Setting kind boundaries. Min Kong the Nyan them Ca Kuoi Tuan Ne. Min Ko the Ho Tro review Bao Sang too high. I can't take the weekend shift. I can help with a Monday morning review. Non-defensive responses. Cam on Ban Da Kai Ra. De La Fan Min Say Chin Home Ne plus Mok Geo. Thanks for flagging. Here is what I will adjust today plus a timeline. Saying, no, but still helpful. Kung Fu Hapu Tien Q3. Nung de la checklist de Ban Tu Trian Kai. Not in scope for Q3. But here is a checklist so you can move forward. Cooling down heated threads. Min Thay thread Dang Nong. Tam Dung O Day. 3H gap 15 feet Chot 2 Lua Chan. This thread is getting heated. Pausing here. Let us sync at 3 p.m. for 15 minutes to decide between option A, B. Quickly correcting mistakes. Cash Noi Ki Ne Kua Min Chua On. Y Min La. Va Min Shin Loi Vi Kian Ban Thay Ko Chu. My wording earlier was not helpful. I meant, and I am sorry for the impact. Things to avoid. They trigger defensiveness quickly in Americans. Absolutes. Saying, always, or never, Luke now Kung, never, always, right pointing arrow change to this week, in this case. Labeling the person, not the behavior. You are lazy, right pointing arrow. This week you have not responded to 3 requests within 24 hours as agreed. Sarcasm, snark via emoji in tense contexts. A winking face can sometimes pour fuel on the fire. Over CCing to pressure turns a small issue into a drama. If you need transparency, say why. I CC'd A, B to share context, not to assign blame. When you slip up in speech, everyone has days with little sleep. Traffic, sick kids. Use 3R, recognize, repair, recommit. Acknowledge specifically, this morning I cut you off twice, repair, I apologize. Please restate your main point. I will take notes, recommit, going forward I will raise my hand or signal instead of interrupting. The sooner you fix it, the better. In American culture, responsibility plus quick repair matter more than trying to look perfect. When someone else slips with you, use firm compassion. That phrasing made me feel diminished. I want to continue this conversation, but please let us keep respect. If they do not change, step away from the conversation. Right speech is not about enduring, it is about protecting dignity for both sides. In a multicultural environment, assume goodwill before assigning negative intent. Differences in tone between New York, the Midwest, and the Bay Area can make plain speech feel cold or rude. A 5-second habit before hitting send. Read aloud the first sentence, if it sounds like a command. Add one softer word without making things vague. Please, when you have a moment, could you? In the US, simply changing, why didn't you, into, what blocked you from, can change everything. At the same time, do not sacrifice clarity for politeness. Polite but vague equals not truly kind. Kogi Gui Min Ne. Right pointing arrow. Send me 3 bullet points plus a data link by 8 a.m. Thursday. To practice right speech daily without needing extra time, install speech anchor points. Morning. Write a 7-word goal for how you will speak today. Speak slowly, short sentences, bluff first. Before meetings. 30 seconds, 1-liner goal, by meeting end. Decide A, B plus owner plus deadline. After meetings. 5-line recap in 5 minutes. Who, doing what, by when, risks, link. Evening. 2 proud sentences. One time I spoke clearly. One time I repaired my wording timely. Plus, 1 sentence for tomorrow to do better. In personal or family life, move from, you do this to me, to, when X I feel Y because Z, I want W, e.g., when you reply with 1 or 2 words. I feel worried because I need to feel connected. Could we talk 10 minutes tonight from 8 o'clock to 8:10? With small children, use descriptive request plus limited choice. The shoes in the walkway are tripping people. Do you want to put them away now or after you drink water? Clear and kind. With neighbors, service staff. Right speech is specific courtesy. Your music is audible in our bedroom after 10 p.m. Could you lower it after 10? I appreciate it. You are not writing a novel. You are setting standards for the neighborhood calmly. Finally, remember, words are architecture. They build bridges or walls, and because every day you speak over 100 sentences, just 10% being clearer, warmer, more timely makes life with much less friction. Less friction equals less energy wasted equals harder to be broken. When speech is aligned, the mind becomes lighter. When mind is lighter, one can see one's thoughts path. From here we move to the next principle. Right thought, the art of training your thinker so it becomes an ally rather than a machine that drains you. Where you learn to replace self-criticism with self-guidance, confusion with structure, and make your brain a place you want to live. Principle 7. Right thought, right intention. If mindfulness helps us see, and right speech helps us speak, then right thought is the inner track. the place where intentions and silent thinking habits decide whether you veer left or veer right all day long. In the US, you wake up in an ocean of stimulation, inbox flooded with alerts. News feeds flashing warnings, ads pushing you to buy, feeds surfacing hot takes, all renting out your mind's attention minute by minute. Without right thought, the brain will by default run 3 exhausting circuits: exaggerating danger, catastrophizing, reading others' minds, mind reading, and identifying with small mistakes, personalization. Right thought is not about chasing away bad thoughts. It is training the stream of thinking so it becomes an ally, anchored in truth, turned toward good, and causing less harm. Just as in the original spirit of the Noble Eightfold Path: renunciation, goodwill, non-harm. In short, I choose sufficiency, I choose goodwill, I choose harmlessness. Let us begin with a very common scenario. Priya in Boston receives an email at 8:17 a.m. We need to revisit last week's numbers. Instantly the mind fires. I must have made a huge mistake. Right pointing arrow. The boss is disappointed. Right pointing arrow. The team thinks I'm incompetent. Right pointing arrow. I am done for. Heart races. Shoulders tighten. Hands want to type a long explanatory thread. Right thought demands a 60-second pause using the FACTS frame: facts, assumptions, consequences, test, step. F. Facts. The only fact in the email is, we need to revisit last week's numbers. There is no word blaming Priya explicitly. Assumptions. The thought, I am screwed, is an assumption. Label it as such to separate it from fact. C. Consequences. If she believes the assumption, she'll panic and might respond poorly. T. Test. Quick check. Open the dashboard. Look at 2 key metrics. Ask the boss a clarifying question. Which slice do you want revisited? Daily active by region or churn? S. Step. A small, concrete next move. Snapshot the dashboard and schedule a 10:30 review. After 60 seconds, Priya chooses a response that is short, clear, calm. At 8:19 a.m. the boss replies, only churn. Might be a segmenting issue. The storm turns out to have been just a light breeze. When right thought is present, your brain returns about 90% of the energy that was leaking through patterns of magnifying right pointing arrow, mind reading, right pointing arrow, blaming. To bring right thought into busy American life in a practical way, here are 3 filter sets you can deploy immediately in your head. Filter set. 3 core intentions from the roots of the Eightfold Path. Sufficiency, renunciation. Am I thinking from lack? Right pointing arrow, shift toward enough. The Q3 goal is enough as X. Anything else is bonus. Goodwill. Am I attributing bad motives to someone? Right pointing arrow, shift to assuming goodwill but verify. Maybe they're tired. I will ask one clarifying question. Harmlessness. Non-harming. Could this thought hurt me or someone else? Right pointing arrow, if yes, move to a minimally safe behavior. Filter set. PAIR, present, accurate, intentional, responsible. Present. Am I here or lost in a future scenario? Bring myself back with some physical detail, hand touching desk. Accurate. Do I have evidence for the thought? If not, add qualifiers like maybe, possibly. Data not sufficient. Intentional. Is this thought serving what I want, or is it just draining me? Responsible. What small step in my control can I take right now? Filter set. 4 R's for when the mind runs at night. Rumination. Recognize rumination. Am I replaying this? Right pointing arrow, silently label. Rumination occurring. Reframe. Change the frame. From, what if I screw up? To, what if I learn something? Or, what if I try a smaller version first? Ritual. 2-minute brain dump. List all worries in bullets on paper. Fold it up. Make a plan to address them later, e.g. tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Rest. Come back to breath 4 to 6 counts plus 3 points of contact in the body. Do not try solving at 1:30 in the morning. Right thought does not banish emotion. It chooses who is driving. When anger comes, we do not say, "I am not angry." We say, "Anger is present." The driver is intention of goodwill. Try using tool aim, acknowledge, inquiry, move, acknowledge, anger, chest hot, jaw tight, inquiry. What is anger protecting here? A boundary. Fairness, respect, move. One respectful step without harm. Draft a response and wait 10 minutes. Schedule to talk in person. Ask a third party to help. Emotion honored right pointing arrow wisdom returns. On the technical, practice side, you can train a thought hygiene 7 minutes per day, morning and afternoon. Very compact. Minute 1 to 2. Scan distortion patterns, CBT style. Very brief. All or nothing. Magnification. Mind reading. Labeling, filtering negative. Just name what is happening. Minute 3 to 4. Switch, am, is, statements to, is ing, having, I am a procrastinator, right pointing arrow. There is a tendency to procrastinate here. From verdict right pointing arrow a state right pointing arrow possibility. Minute 5 to 6. Mini whoop. Wish, outcome, obstacle, plan, wish. Finish deck, outcome. Send by 3 p.m., obstacle. At 1 p.m. I will be drained, plan. If I feel drained at 1 p.m. then walk for 4 minutes plus drink water plus return to slide 3 before continuing. Minute 7. 7-word intention phrase for the rest of the day. Go slow, speak short, decide once. In fast tension situations, unexpected call, child screaming, cut off in traffic, install the habit stand to. Stand firm in the head, stop, pause half beat, tilt chin, lift chin slightly. Open chest. Posture changes chemistry, air. Exhale fully. Name one word. Worry, anger, pressure. Do one small useful thing. One small helpful action. Lower speaking speed by 1 level. Restate request in 7 to 10 words. One loop of stand takes only 15-20 seconds. But it gives you choice. A mental diet is also part of right thought. Instead of, cut off all social media, unrealistic. Use MENU. Mute. Turn off non-essential notifications. Edit. Clean your sources. Follow people, groups that nurture mind and heart. Notice. Observe your body after 5 minutes of scrolling, if it feels bad. Stop. Upgrade. Swap 10 minutes of doomscroll right pointing arrow 10 minutes of stepping out. Breathing. Looking far for 20 seconds. The mind does not only think by will. The mind eats what we feed. Changing even 10% of your mental diet is enough to build new pathways. Here is a short story from Phoenix. Alex works in sales. The Q2 quota is heavy. In week 1, 3 calls fail. Mind starts scripting. I am not cut out for this job. He tries a 10 calls, 10 assumptions experiment in each call. He identifies one assumption that needs checking, e.g., price is barrier, decision maker not present, demo too long. After 10 calls, he has data, not drama. 6 out of 10 barriers were timing and not seeing ROI in first 60 seconds. He changes his opener to bluff 20 seconds about ROI. And the results the next week improve sharply. Right thought turned. I am bad. Right pointing arrow. My process is not tuned. From there, he refines process rather than smashing self-worth. In family life, right thought helps us not turn a moment of lateness into a character judgment. Child is messy. Right pointing arrow. Right now there is a habit of not putting things away. I will teach using descriptive command plus giving 2 options. Partner is inattentive. Right pointing arrow. There is currently a distance of 10 minutes of connection needed. Let us schedule 8 o'clock to 8:10 p.m. No devices. Bringing issues into systems and habits is goodwill and harmlessness. 3 common traps when cultivating right thought, and how to avoid them. Toxic positivity. Reframing does not mean denying reality. Hold two columns in parallel. Harsh truth plus feasible small step. Analysis paralysis. If you already understand the problem but have done nothing after 10 minutes, turn on the rule of one. Do one small thing in 3 to 5 minutes. Write 3 bullets. Send one clarifying question. Block a meeting. Self-worth equated with output. When plan derails, remind yourself with 3 phrases. I am the person, right pointing arrow, I learn, right pointing arrow, I adjust. Use AAA. Acknowledge, amend, aim. Then move on. To anchor right thought as a weekly habit, try the Sunday audit, 15 minutes. 5 minutes. Review 5 repeated thoughts from the week. Write them out exactly. 5 minutes. Label distortions plus write neutral versions based on data. 5 minutes. Create 3 if-then plans for next week, e.g., if I feel drained at 3 p.m. right pointing arrow, take a 4-minute walk. If feedback is harsh, right pointing arrow, stand plus ask a clarifying question. If I scroll more than 10 minutes, right pointing arrow, menu. Disable app for 1 hour. Sign off with a 7-word intention. Enough, goodwill, harmless, decided clearly. Remember that right thought does not turn life into a straight line. It gives you the steering wheel inside your mind so you can curve through turns, not crash into edges. When your inner intention is running the right track, choosing sufficiency, choosing goodwill, choosing harmlessness, then speech is lighter, action more direct, and you are much harder to break because external collisions no longer hook into internal weak spots. From that foundation, we graduate into the next principle: right action. Turning what you see, think, say into clear chains of deeds. With boundaries, with fewer regrets, so each day of yours is not merely quieter but also more forward-moving. Principle 8. Right action. If right thought is the inner track, then right action is the wheel on the ground. What you actually do with your body and your time in a busy American day. You send an email or make a phone call. You cross at a yellow light or wait for green. You nod yes to more work or say no kindly. You put down your fork when you are full or keep eating for emotional reasons. You slow down in the rain or keep speeding. You turn in an honest report or fudge numbers just to pass. You turn your phone off before bed or scroll for 40 more minutes. Each small act is a vote for the kind of person you are becoming. In Buddhism, core aspects of right action are non-harming, cultivating good, and acting with intention. In modern life, that translates into specific choices, protecting the safety of body and mind, yours and others, choosing actions that make life easier to breathe in, and designing habits so the right thing becomes the easy thing. Imagine a Tuesday morning in Minneapolis. You are in front of the office coffee machine. A colleague whispers, "Let's embellish the numbers a bit. CEO likes upward trends. Part of you wants peace. Another part remembers last week's email commitment to data integrity." Right action is not about moral posturing. It is a decision skill made in 30 seconds. Exhale a little longer. Look straight at reality. Ask 3 very short questions. Is this action legal? Is it loving? Does it do no harm, even to myself? Is it useful long-term? If it fails the law-loving long test, you stand tall without anger. I'll keep the real numbers, if needed. I'll note the context. You believe you might lose praise? Maybe, but what you don't lose is your inner backbone, something that when it is present steadily will make you truly hard to break, and strangely, the atmosphere around you often shifts. Others begin to speak more truth because someone first dared to stay straight. To see how right action is not luxury but concrete reduction of suffering, let's go into a story in Houston. Roberto maintains a factory. Works night shift, earns just enough. He habitually accepts overtime whenever it's offered, for the kids' tuition, for credit card bills, for 3 months. He lacks sleep, back hurts, his mind always foggy. One rainy night he still takes extra hours, slick road. Drowsy eyes, his pickup skids slightly at a turn. He brakes just in time but his heart races. He sits in his truck 15 seconds and suddenly understands. Some dollars cost immediate risk of body and mind. Next morning, he does something small but life-saving. He writes boundaries to his manager. This week I will only accept 1 overtime on Friday. Otherwise I will get full rest to safely do the main shift. He also changes a habit, bringing a proper lunch instead of relying on vending machine. Walking 7 minutes before shift. Results are not overnight, but after 4 weeks his back eases. His head clears. One near slip in the shop no longer happens. Right action here is not glamorous. It is protecting present safety. Because non-harm is the foundation of all other good. On a smaller scale, right action is a timely escape from habit. In the supermarket you put back that second wine bottle. On the freeway, turn off angry autopilot when someone cuts you off and whisper, "May we both be safe." At dinner table, you notice your child needing eye contact. You flip phone face down. Those acts do not make your life great in a day, but they make your day kind in its every part. Living right action is not about grit and suffering, but about designing so the right thing becomes least friction, meaning you do not rely only on willpower. You arrange your environment. Instead of strong-willed no sweets. Don't buy sweets for the house. Instead of I will not check email from bed. Leave charger outside bedroom. Instead of exercise 6 days a week. Schedule 3 non-negotiable sessions and tie them to a favorite cue. Listen to a podcast only when walking. Instead of do not get angry with kids. Pause 90 seconds at the door before entering home. Set intention, 10 minutes no devices. Instead of don't overspend. Build delay in purchases. A waiting basket 72 hours. Decide within set budget. Each small shift is a lever, lifting heavy by changing pivot, not by flexing muscle until exhaustion. When the right action is easier, it tends to happen. When it tends to happen, it becomes you. If you like a 30-second quick test for right action, use NORA next obvious right action. When overwhelmed, don't ask how to solve everything. Ask, what is the next obvious right step in 5 to 10 minutes? Harming no one. Moving things forward by 1%. Nora forces mind off, end of world scenario, to notice current scene. Then lift one piece. For example, deadline 4 p.m. You feel stuck. Nora, open file right pointing arrow write 3 bullets. Desired outcomes, right pointing arrow send a clear 1-sentence question to whom concerns right pointing arrow block 40 minutes of focus time. Or in conflict. Nora, pause half beat right pointing arrow draft a response right pointing arrow set 15 minutes to talk in person right pointing arrow walk 3 minutes cool off. Power of Nora lies in feasible immediacy. Right now. Small. Today. Supplementing Nora is E4 eliminate. Ease. Exchange. Elevate. Before an action. Ask. Can I eliminate it altogether? If not, how to make it easier? Checklist. Template. If still difficult, exchange part to someone else or for later. And then raise the standard by 5%, elevate, rather than 50 so it's sustainable. This is not a productivity trick. This is ethics of a system. You sustain doing the right thing because you avoid burning out. Right action is also integrity in gray zones, where law hasn't touched but conscience has. When you do not shift blame by a clever phrase. When you return change at register because cashier will deduct it later. When you stand up for someone in a meeting who is right but overshadowed. When you report a safety issue even though inconvenient. When you do not share unverified info just because it resonates. When you do not use sarcasm to win an argument. When you show up on time because you respect others' time. In the US, these small things are civic culture. Each person holds one piece. Together the picture holds up. And right action is not only about people. It is about the environment. Turning off lights in empty room. Fixing leaking faucet. Combining trips to reduce car miles. Choosing reuse when possible. Such acts may seem for the planet. But truly they are for your mind. Lighter. Less guilt. Less sense. I take without giving back. 3 common pitfalls that can wreck right action. 1. All or nothing mindset. Thinking, if it is not perfect, it is useless. Counter by minimum viable action, e.g. 10 minutes writing per day, 15 minutes exercise, 1 healthy meal per day. 2. Virtue performance. Doing right because others see it. Counter by internal standard. Does this reduce suffering for someone? Instead of, does someone applaud me? 3. Action addiction. Mistaking speed for progress. Counter by weekly rebalancing, every Friday. 10 minutes to notice where you did much but moved little. So reduce what does not add value. When you see yourself about to slip, use the 3R of action. Reset, stop, breath, name it. Repair, fix what you just did. Apologize, send the correct version. Change design, recommit. Commit to small behavioral boundary. Set reminder. Block time. Send intention. If you want to pack right action into a 12-minute daily ritual doable anywhere. Waiting in car for kids practice. In the kitchen while water boils. Try. Minutes 1 to 2 breathe 4 to 6 plus write 1 action intention. No harm. Do clear. Do 1 step now. Minutes 3 to 6 Nora times 2 tasks. 2 obvious next right steps. Each 5 to 10 minutes. Minutes 7 to 9 E4 on 1 heavier task. Eliminate, ease, exchange, elevate by 5%. Minutes 10 to 12 set boundary for rest of day. 1 specific no plus 1 nourishing yes. Drink water. Walk 5 minutes. 10 minutes device free chatting. At night, before bed, close your log with 3 lines. 1 action that reduced harm to me or someone else. 1 action that cultivated good. 1 thing I'll do more clearly better tomorrow. Write short like headlines. Mind likes recurring touchpoints. Not speeches. There will be days you do right and the world does not look better. You refuse to pretty up numbers. Project is delayed. You do not road rage. Someone honks you. You do not engage in online argument. People say you are avoiding. This is when right action needs a companion called patience and equanimity. Ability to stand steady in a short storm to see wind shift. Not shutting your heart. Not dimming your mind. Not popping the lid in impatience. Just stand firm. Breathe, and trust longer rhythm. In the next part, we move to Principle 9, Patience and Equanimity. To learn how to hold the stable heat of inner forge. Hot enough to turn iron into steel. Balanced enough to not burn yourself. Principle 9, Patience and Equanimity. In America, where 1 click can call a car to your door, next day, package can arrive before you even change your mind. And a 30-second video can set the mood for your whole afternoon. Patience is easily misunderstood as slow or putting up with things. But in the language of those who train to live well, patience is a discipline of rhythm, knowing how to choose the optimal speed for what you are doing and keeping internal heat stable for the long haul. Equanimity is the flatness of the lake inside. Wind may rise. Rain may fall, but the lake returns to calm fast enough that you can see clearly and choose well. Without patience, you burn stages, misstep, pay for repeated errors and tired apologies. Without equanimity, every car horn, every harsh email, every frozen stare pulls you out of yourself and hands over your steering to reflex. True patience is not silence, swallowing injustice, or passive submission. It is intelligent endurance, tolerating temporary confusion to keep direction, tolerating short-term delay to preserve results. Equanimity is not numbness. It is the operating temperature of your mind when you are working. Like a forge at 850 degrees Celsius, about 1.560 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to bend steel. Not so hot it burns itself by going to 1.100 degrees, about 2.012 degrees Fahrenheit. A scene very American, Sunday afternoon. An emergency room in Phoenix, the sound of gurney wheels, smell of antiseptic. The clock doesn't promise. You brought your mother to be checked, staff says. We'll call your name, 20 minutes, 40 minutes, 90 minutes, every 10 more. A stone in your chest. Your phone buzzes. Email from your boss reminding about the deck due tomorrow. Across the room a child is crying. Conditions align into a perfect storm. You have two roads. A. Crank up the temperature. Swift steps. Sharp words. Write a cold email to the uncaring system and pour anger into your veins. Or B. Slow your rhythm half a notch and shift the power. Power from external control, often failing, to internal regulation, possible. You sit down. Plant both feet firmly into the floor. Exhale a little longer, count 4 in. 6 out. Let eyes rest on a far point, a ceiling light or signage. Whisper. Priority. Mom safe. Next step. Ask the nurse time check. Then walk to the desk. Calm voice. Hello. I understand this is busy today. Could you give me a reasonable time to check back? Or is there anything I can do to speed the process? The staff thanks you, notes it, points out where vitals are being taken. You did not put up quietly, you chose a useful pace, in 3 minutes. The quality of the experience changes. Sitting back, you open your notes, write 3 bullets needed for the deck. Not finish everything, but you move forward 1%. An hour later mom is called. The strange thing about equanimity is, when you do not throw more waves onto the lake, what needs to be seen becomes visible, and when you see clearly, you act rightly. Here patience is the intelligent delay between stimulus and response. Equanimity is the recovery of flatness after disturbance. To turn patience and equanimity into operational skills, not slogans. Treat them like 2 steering wheels you use all day. Patience wheel. Know how to stretch subjective time in critical 30 to 90 second moments. Very real tool. Bell, breathe, exhale fully. Expand, widen your view. See 2 distant points. Label, name what is arising. Chest burning. Annoyed. Lean slightly back. Stabilize posture. Even 1 round of bell at a red light is enough to change the rhythm of the next 10 minutes. Equanimity wheel. Know how to come back to the middle after each deviation. Tool center. Check body points. Forehead, jaw, shoulders. Exhale, long. Notice 1 distant sound, 1 nearby. Temperature, warm, cool inside. Equalize. Tone of voice drop by half step. Reset. Set a 7-word intention. Center is great before picking up the phone or hitting send. When you use bell plus center multiple times throughout the day, the brain learns paths back. You are not someone frozen, you are someone who recovers quickly. A workplace story in Dallas. Kim leads a deployment team, release day. Service breaks. The group chat explodes. A colleague writes, "Who merged this branch?" Perfect spark for blame. Kim types 3 words, then deletes, does center for 15 seconds, and writes, pause blame. Priority. Restore. Can someone drop logs for 1405 to 1412 here? I'll open the bridge in 3 minutes. Owners of areas A, B, C take channel. 40 minutes later service is restored, at 9:30 p.m. Kim sends post-incident. Timeline. Root cause. Fix. Lesson. New guardrails. Tone calm but clear. Team learns instead of breaking. The equanimity of one can borrow nerves for the whole group in heat, and that is leadership. Not shouting, but keeping the collective rhythm at the right frequency. In family, patience equanimity is not bite your tongue to keep peace. It is the art of delaying explosion by 90 seconds to move toward what matters. Child spills milk when you are late for work. Bell right at the kitchen. First phrase descriptive instead of judgmental. Milk spilled. I'll get a big towel. You stand still right here. Set the task. Set the rhythm with your partner. When you hear, your instinct is to defend. Use center 1 beat and ask, in this story, what do you need most? 10 minutes being heard. One thing I can do now. Or a clear promise. When need is named, the script changes. Patience equanimity prioritize need over shielding ego. A small diet of 5 to 15 minutes per day to train patience like a muscle, No schedule cost. 5-minute version. Anchor points. Pick 3. Bells, in the day, red light. Door handle. First email open. Each time 3 breaths 4 to 6 plus 1 7-word intention. Go slow, hear clearly. Pick 1 step, goal, frequency. 10-minute version. Raising difficulty. 1 task that usually spikes you, standing in line. Checkout. Repeated questions from kid, experiment slower rhythm. Lower voice half tone. Speak 10% slower. Insert 0.5 second pause before answering. Goal, softness of response. 15-minute version. Long game, build, buffer time. Between blocks of 90 minutes. 10 to 15-minute buffer between meetings. Buffer is not to put in extra work, but to return, drink water. Walk 3 to 4 minutes. Stretch neck shoulder. Goal, stable internal temperature. Patience equanimity has 3 enemies you need to recognize. Instant perfect, want it now, and perfectly. Counter with slope over point, care more about trajectory than perfect finish today. Hot comparison. Just after doing something, you compare to someone 10 years ahead. Counter with mirror versus window, when someone else excels. Look through the window to learn, not into the mirror to shame yourself. Depleted nervous system, lack sleep, water, blood sugar fluctuation. Counter with 3N. Sleep enough, schedule it. Don't hero through. Water, bottle within reach. Chew well. First 3 bites without screen. Patience is physiology before will. For long-term work, new job, certification, weight loss, paying debt, patience and equanimity shift from 90 seconds techniques to architecture of 90 days. Set periodic check-ins rather than judge day by day. Use lead versus lag measures. Nourish leading indicators, hours of study. Resumes sent, meals cooked, calls made, and track lagging ones, offers. Wait, account balances, monthly. Every Sunday 15 minutes. Inspect the slope. Refine systems. Don't judge the person. If 2 weeks are off rhythm, do not say, I'm failing. Lower to minimum viable week, e.g. 2 short workouts. 2 hours studying, 2 quality deliverables. What you need first is rhythm endurance. Patience equanimity wins by staying power, not by bursts. Patience is not acceptance of abuse, toxic, in bad environment. Patience equanimity means keeping head, escaping when needed. Document, ask support, schedule meetings, escalate, move teams, send formal letters. That is strategic patience, not stay and take blows. Patience is also not forgetting past. It is reconciling with reality. It happened, and I choose the next safest, kindest step. Equanimity does not demand you smile through pain. It invites you to breathe through pain so the door of right action stays open. A small ritual. Inner thermometer 3 times a day, morning, noon, evening. Each less than 60 seconds. To keep the forge at 850 degrees Celsius. 1. Mark the heat. Cold, numb. Warm, just fine. Hot, on edge. 2. Adjust. If cold right pointing arrow, walk briskly 1 lap. If hot right pointing arrow, exhale 6 to 8 long breaths plus drink water plus lower tone of voice. If warm right pointing arrow, continue. 3. 7-word reminder phrase. Go slow. See clearly. Pick 1 step. Just that. Repeat many times. The power of patience equanimity lies in micro-accumulation. And then there will be days you do all the right things and the world is still loud, but inside. You do not collapse because a comment. You do not shatter because a plan change. You bend in return. Like bamboo. That is when you have rhythm, from that stable rhythm. The final door opens naturally. Meditation and wisdom, where you train the mind like you train muscles. Sharpen the blade of awareness to cut through confusion. And where the 10 principles are not merely words but are your living breath every day. In the next section we will step into meditation practice like a simple neural technology. No pomp. No dogma. just sitting, breathing, seeing, and understanding. Principle 10. Meditation and wisdom. If mindfulness is the skill of being present, then meditation is the gym where you train that skill, and wisdom is what you bring out of the gym. The ability to see clearly what your experience is, how it arises, how it stays, how it passes away, and what the next harmless step is. In a busy American day, alarm at 6:30 a.m. Kid knocks your door, traffic on I-95, Slack pings, email piling up, fridge humming because you're low on milk. Meditation is neither a luxury nor turn your brain off. Meditation is neural training so you see, breathe, choose before being swept away. You don't need incense, bells, or 30 minutes on day one. You only need a body that can sit, one breath that is already here, and an intention to live just 1% more clearly. Start very ordinary. Tonight, when you are settled, on the couch, on edge of bed, or on a kitchen chair looking out a window, you place both feet touching the floor. Back straight enough to be alert but not rigid. Shoulders drop naturally. Eyes may half close to see soft light or open slightly looking down about 45 degrees. Place your hands somewhere easy to forget, on your thighs. Inhale normally. Exhale a little longer. Choose an anchor point, often the sensation of breath at the nostrils, or the rising falling in the belly. You are not trying to succeed. You are observing. Subtle feeling of cool air in, warm when out. After 5 to 10 seconds, mind will wander. Tomorrow's schedule, messages unanswered, something someone said. At that moment, wisdom in seed form appears. You notice you wandered. Gently label it, thinking, worrying, planning. Then return to the anchor without self-judgment. Each return is like lifting a weight. You do not need to hate the drift. You train to choose who drives. 5 minutes is enough for first day. That is meditation. After sitting regularly a few days, you'll see meditation has 2 gears. Samatha, stability of attention, like holding a flashlight steady on a point, and panna, wisdom, seeing the nature of what shows up, like noticing dust motes in a beam of light drifting, changing, dissolving. Stability gives you enough calm so you do not reflex. Wisdom gives you clarity so you do not get lost. Wisdom in tradition names 3 characteristics: impermanence, everything changes; absence of a fixed self, no solid I; unsatisfactoriness, trying to make things stay still causes suffering. But in an American day you only need sharper noticing. Coming present going, not me, holding less gives less suffering. When you sit, you feel itch on your neck. It comes, stays for 3 to 5 breaths, then goes. If you do not immediately scratch, you feel heat in chest. You label, anger. It stays a few breaths, then passes when you exhale longer and do not add more story. You see, I turns out to be a stream. Sensation plus thought plus impulse. Like traffic on a highway. Cars all pass. No car is the road. In that moment, wisdom switches on, and simultaneously, a small freedom appears. A story in Seattle. Ray, a firefighter, after a long wildfire season, sleep shredded. He is invited by his crew to an 8-session meditation class at the local community center. First session. Ray is confused. Sitting still for 10 minutes feels like an hour. By week 3. Sitting, he feels the urge to yank himself out of the chair, paired with thought, I cannot bear this. This time he stays. He labels, unease. Watches breath in belly. 40 seconds later, the urge subsides. Only warmth in his hands remains. On way home, he smiles. It is not that I became stronger, but I did not pour fuel into fire anymore. After a few weeks, during a difficult call, people shouting, stress high. Ray feels anger rising but lets it pass across 2 breaths. He speaks half a tone slower, gives clearer direction. No one calls this meditation, but wisdom works right on the sidewalk. Seeing the wave, not riding it, doing what must be done in clarity. To make meditation a living skill, not a special occasion. You can apply 3 simple yet effective forms. Breath meditation. Basic concentration. Daily the 10th of May 15 minutes increasing gradually. Choose an anchor, nose, belly. When mind drifts, notice right pointing arrow label right pointing arrow return. No judging, no praise, just returning. If sleepy, open eyes more, sit straighter. If chest feels heavy, exhale longer by 1 to 2 breaths. Noting meditation. 5 minutes at midday. Eyes half closed. Each arising experience. Tag 1 word. Thinking, hearing, seeing, hot, cold, tense. Release, like putting tags on boxes in the garage. Purpose. Separate mind from the story. Reduce cling. Open awareness. Evening. 10 minutes. Drop fixed anchor. Open to whatever arises. Sound of AC. Heartbeat. Lights outside. Wandering thoughts. Do not change or chase. Just be with whatever comes. Effect. Increases capacity for life. Many things still noisy, but they no longer shatter you. Also, you can use very American doors to weave meditation through your day. When the coffee machine is running, stand still for 60 seconds noticing smell sound temperature. When elevator doors close, breathe 2 rounds 4 to 6. When red light, tag, hear, see, touch, and avoid phone. When child says, Mom, Dad, look, put hand on chest, exhale long, turn fully to look at child 10 seconds. That is meditation in the form of being present. You will meet 4 common traps when you are new, and even later, in practice. Chasing states. Demanding every sit be calm as a lake. Right pointing arrow remedy. Set intention for process, not for feeling. Today I practice returning gently, so even if mind is noisy, it is a win. Self-criticism. I am awful. Just thinking about everything. Right pointing arrow remedy. Switch. I am, to, there is, I am noticing. There is much thinking. My task is returning. Each return counts. Using meditation to avoid issues. Sitting, peacefully, but then not doing needed hard things. Right pointing arrow remedy. After sit, do 1 Nora. Next obvious right action. Take a small right step now. Neglecting body, physical needs. Lack sleep, dehydration, fluctuating blood sugar makes sitting a struggle. Right pointing arrow remedy. Use 3N, sleep, water. Chew well first, before sitting. Once attention muscles are built, wisdom naturally becomes deeper in daily life. You'll soon see the chain stimulus. Right pointing arrow sensation. Right pointing arrow thought. Right pointing arrow impulse. Right pointing arrow action. And cut that chain at 1 link. Phone alert. Right pointing arrow chest tighten. Right pointing arrow thought. Not this again. Right pointing arrow impulse open message. Right pointing arrow you pause. Exhale. Ask. Is this urgent, important? What question needs to be asked? Or someone cuts you off in traffic. Heart races. Thought, what an idiot. Impulse honk. You label, anger. Exhale. Whisper. May we both be safe. Behavior changes without, must do. That is wise action. Wisdom working as your reflex. If you want a 14-day track to embed meditation into a busy American life without breaking schedule, here's a concise and durable plan. Days 1 to 3. Each morning 5 minutes breath meditation. Anchor in nose or belly. Each time you wander return. Evening 30 seconds. 3 points of contact. Heels thighs back of chair, before sleep. Days 4 to 6. Increase to 7 to 8 minutes morning. Add 2 minutes midday noting, think hear see feel. Day 7 10 minutes morning. Evening 10 minutes open awareness. Write 3 lines. Arrived departed grateful. Days 8 to 10. Keep 10 minutes morning. Embed 3 doors during the day, coffee. Elevator, red light. Days 11 to 13. Try 12 to 15 minutes morning, after meditation. Do 1 Nora small right action. Send 1 question. Block 20 minutes focus. Day 14 15 minus 20 minutes morning. Evening metta. Loving kindness. 3 rounds, for yourself. A neutral person, a difficult person. 2 minutes each. Be safe, healthy, peaceful, maintain boundaries where needed. You don't need to sit longer to gain more. Consistency wins. A sustainable, enough rhythm is 10 to 15 minutes per day plus micro moments through the day. Doors, elevator, red lights. On weekends, if possible, try a 25 to 30 minute session. 15 minutes breath, right pointing arrow, 5 minutes noting, right pointing arrow, 5 to 10 open plus 2 minutes metta. Then do one small hard step right after. Nora, so meditation connects with action. Movement meditation works too. Very helpful for Americans who sit a lot. Walk meditation 5 to 10 minutes. Walk normally. Feel heel mid-foot toes touch ground plus release. Or scan the body when waiting in line. Top of head, right pointing arrow, forehead, right pointing arrow, eyes, right pointing arrow, jaw, right pointing arrow, neck, right pointing arrow, shoulders, right pointing arrow, arms, right pointing arrow, chest, right pointing arrow, belly, right pointing arrow, hips, right pointing arrow, thighs, right pointing arrow, shins, right pointing arrow, feet. Each part exhale 1 breath. This is neural maintenance. For insomnia, do not battle with will. Lie on side. Open eyes lightly if needed. Place hand on belly. Exhale counting from 10 down to 1. Count the exhale. Drift off, no shame. If after 15 to 20 minutes still awake, get up under soft light. Read a few pages of paper book. Avoid blue screens. Return to bed. Goal is not force sleep. Goal is opening condition for sleep to come. Sleep when it comes. Wisdom. Arrived, present, depart. If you have old wounds, loss, high anxiety, trauma, meditation is still helpful, but choose safe ways. Open eyes. Anchor in body sense. Feet on floor. Back in chair. Very short sessions. 3-5 to 7 minutes. Prioritize metta. Loving kindness. Afterwards, if emotion becomes too heavy. Open eyes. Look at 5 things. Name 3 colors. Stand and drink water. Meditation does not require that you face everything at any cost. Meditation teaches respecting limits and building capacity gradually, when needed. Seek a guide or safe community. What is most precious about meditation and wisdom is not the nice experience while sitting, but the ability to carry clarity and presence outward. In meetings, you set a rhythm of 3 shared breaths before finalizing something. Your child cries. You name the need under the cry. Someone speaks harshly. You feel the waves in you but do not let them drive. Bad news arrives. You sit taller. Breathe out longer. Write 3 bullets of the right next step. Your day does not become less chaotic. The world does not sign stability, but you become less shaken by the world. And when inside you are less broken. Nothing breaks you easily. From here, once the 10 principles are in your hands, impermanence helps you accept changing rhythms. Non-self helps you cling less to labels. Compassion opens the way for kindness. Letting go returns space. Mindfulness brings you into the present. Right speech smooths the paths of communication. Right thought corrects the tracks in your mind. Right action makes the wheel touch the ground. Patience, equanimity holds steady heat. Then meditation and wisdom become the fuel and the headlamp for the whole journey. In the next section, I will lead you through a 30-minute guided meditation, relaxing from head to toe, breathing with rhythm, expanding the capacity of heart, reconnecting with the 10 principles through warm imagery, so that if you wish, you can drift to sleep safely partway through, or if you are doing light work, you still feel your mind brighter, heart lighter, and another day waits for your next obvious right step. Guided meditation and settling the mind. If you are on a bed, on the sofa, or on a chair by a window, take a few seconds to adjust your space. Dim the light a little. Put phone on silent, accept urgent contacts, and choose a posture well supported, spine straight enough to stay awake. Not stiff, if lying. Let shoulders drop like 2 leaves touching water. Knees perhaps with a thin pillow so lower back releases. Place both hands in the place you tend to forget, on thighs or on belly. eyes half closed or softly open at about 45 degrees. Just avoiding tension. From here, we will travel through 3 slow layers: relaxing body, stabilizing breath, and expanding heart space, so that the 10 principles not only remain words, but become lived feeling. From this moment, whenever you hear the word, return. Breathe out half a beat longer and soften your hands. A simple signal so body-mind knows you are safe right now. Let us begin with 3 anchoring breaths. Inhale normally. Feel cool air at the nostrils. Exhale a little longer. Feel chest soften a tiny bit. Repeat second time. Inhale just enough. Exhale longer, as if you set down a heavy backpack. Third time. When exhaling, drop shoulders a bit more. Relax jaw slightly. Tongue resting naturally under roof of mouth. If mind wanders, that is normal for a brain protecting you. Noticing. Small smile in corner of mouth. Return. Now scan the body, slow, even, like a flashlight sweeping a dark room. Start at top of head. Scalp like a smooth lawn. If any spot is tight, breathe out toward it. Imagine a warm stream flowing over. Forehead. Glassy pane wrinkled by thought. Smooth it flat like a lake when wind stops. Eyebrows, eyelid area. Let eyes get heavy, like 2 round stones resting in palms. Cheeks, lips, jaw. Create a small gap between jaws so they do not press. Facial muscles off duty. Neck, nape. Feel a soft straight line from neck down to middle of back, with each exhale pulling away any tight line. Shoulders, where arms meet torso. Imagine 2 small sandbags, not heavy, just enough to notice. Then let them drop. Arms, elbows, wrists, hands, fingers. Feel weight of arm, as if you just put down a grocery bag. Chest. Place 1 hand on chest, 1 on belly. Inhale feeling belly rise. Exhale feeling chest fall. A slow waltz. Hands greet each other. Belly. Allow belly to expand when inhaling, no need aesthetic. Just real. Lower back, hips, buttocks. Feel surface of chair, pad supporting you, like a large patient hand. Thighs, knees, shins, ankles, feet, toes. Bring attention all the way to the tips of toes. Imagining each toe as a tiny pin dot touching ground. A small dot, I am here. If on bed, feel sheet cool touching heel. That is second anchor. Again, inhale just enough. Exhale longer, return. Now set breathing rhythm. You may use 4-1-6, inhale 4. Hold gently 1, exhale 6. Or simple 4-6. Choose what feels easiest. When you exhale, hear like a small sigh and let whole body soften. Keep this rhythm for about 10 cycles, not counting strictly, but letting it be as steady as little waves on a calm shore. If you are drifting toward sleep, this rhythm may carry you. The scenario can still run softly beneath like night rain watering garden. Now open warm imagery. Before you is a valley lake flat, wind might come, but lake knows how to become flat again. Each exhale a ripple rolling away from shore and dissolving. On left shore a bamboo tree, soft where needed, straight where needed. On right bank a candle, golden flame not harsh, in distance. A snow-capped mountain, silent. This picture is the map of the 10 principles within you. We will touch each principle by feeling, not by thought. Impermanence. Watching lake, ripples appear, ripples fade. Exhale, silently. This arises, stays, passes. Remember one small thing that came today, a message, a smile, one thing that left, a harsh word, and that this feeling too will pass. Return to breath, non-self. Look up at the sky above lake, clouds drift. Birds fly, light shifts. A thought, I must, flickers, label it, thought. Let it pass like a thin cloud. You are not cloud. You are sky wide enough for every cloud. Exhale longer, return. Compassion. Gaze at the candle. With each exhale, imagine warmth spreading in chest, out to shoulders, down arms, into palms. Choose one neutral person from the day, a clerk, a driver, someone you passed. Whisper 3 gentle wishes. May you be safe. May you be healthy. May you be at peace. If someone is difficult, add one more. And may I hold boundaries. Warmth is not idea, it is felt on skin. Letting go. Look at your hand. Are you still holding something? An old story, a schedule too full, a target no longer right? In imagination, open your hand underwater. A cord that hurt slips off and drifts away. You do not sink by letting go. You become lighter to swim. Exhale. Open hand fully, return. Mindfulness. Bring attention to 3 contact points simultaneously. Heels or buttocks against seat. Back touching chair. Hands touching thighs. These 3 points are nails anchoring boat to now. Inhale 4. Exhale 6. Imagine a distant point in imagery. You are exactly where you are. Right speech. Listen inward voice. If it is harsh, try editing a sentence, brief, clear, kind. As you would speak to a tired friend. I feel tired. I will do the next right thing. Feel jaw relax when that sentence lands. Speak to yourself in voice that helps. Return. Meditation and wisdom in daily life. The most precious thing about meditation and wisdom is not the nice experience when you sit, but the ability to bring clarity and presence outward. In meetings, you take 3 shared breaths before making decisions. Your child cries. You name the need beneath the cry. Someone speaks harshly. You feel the waves within and do not let them steer you. Bad news arrives. You sit more upright. Exhale longer. Write 3 bullets of the right next step. Your day does not become less turbulent. The world doesn't sign a contract for stability, but you become less shaken by the world. And when inside, you are less shattered. Nothing outside can break you easily. From this point, when the 10 principles are in your hands, impermanence helping you accept changing rhythms, non-self helping you cling less to labels, compassion opening the way for kindness, letting go restoring space, mindfulness bringing you into the present, right speech smoothing communication, right thought reworking the rails in your mind, right action grounding you, patience and equanimity maintaining stable heat, then meditation and wisdom become both fuel and headlamp for the full journey. In the next section, I will guide you through a 30-minute meditation, relaxing from head to toe, breathing with rhythm, expanding heart space, reconnecting with the 10 principles through warm imagery, so that if you wish, you might drift off halfway safely, or if you remain awake doing gentle work, you will still feel your mind brighter, your heart lighter, and another day waiting for your next obvious right step. Guided meditation and calming the mind. If you are on your bed, on a sofa, or on a chair by a window, take a few seconds to arrange your space. Dim the light slightly. Put your phone on silent, unless urgent, and choose a posture well supported, spine straight enough to stay awake, not stiff. If lying, let shoulders drop like leaves gently touching water. A thin pillow under knees if that helps your lower back relax. Place both hands somewhere easy to forget, on your thighs or on your belly. Eyes half closed or softly open about 45 degrees, simply with no strain. From here, we follow a gentle journey in 3 layers, relaxing your body, stabilizing the breath, and expanding your heart's capacity, so the 10 principles are not just ideas, but felt sensations. From this moment, whenever you hear or think the word, return, breathe out half a beat longer and let your hand open. A simple signal your body-mind knows. You are safe right now. Let's begin with 3 anchor breaths. Inhale normally. Feel the cool air at your nostrils. Exhale a bit longer. Feel your chest soften a little. Repeat a second time. Inhale just enough. Exhale longer, as if setting down a heavy backpack. The third time, on exhale, drop your shoulders a bit more. Relax your jaw lightly, tongue resting comfortably under roof of mouth. If the mind runs off, that's totally normal for a brain protecting you. Notice a small smile at corner of lips. Return. Now scan your body slowly, evenly. like a flashlight sweeping over a dark room. Start at top of head. Scalp like a smooth lawn, if any spot is tight. Breathe toward it, imagining a warm stream flowing over. Forehead, smooth glass, until wrinkles flatten. Areas around eyes, let weight drop. Soften. Cheeks, lips, jaw. Allow a small gap between jaws so they do not press. Neck, nape. Feel a soft line from neck down spine. Shoulders. Imagine two small sandbags gently resting then releasing. Arms, hands, every finger. Feel their weight, as though you just set down a grocery bag. Chest. Place one hand on chest, the other on belly. Inhale, feel belly rise. Exhale, chest fall. A slow waltz. Belly. Allow it to soften. Lower back, hips, seat supporting you. Legs, knees, calves, feet, toes. Bring attention all the way to the toes. Feeling each toe, rooted. If you're on a bed, feel a sheet or mattress beneath heel, another anchor. Once more. Inhale just enough. Exhale longer, return. Breathing rhythm and imagery. Choose a breath rhythm. Maybe 4, 1, 6. Inhale for 4. Hold softly for 1. Exhale for 6, or simply 4 to 6 if that's easier. On each exhale, hear a small sigh. Let whole body soften. Continue this for about 10 cycles, not counting strictly. Just steady like little waves on a calm shore. If you are drifting toward sleep, this rhythm may carry you. Let it. If you stay awake, let it steady you. Now we open warm imagery. Imagine before you a perfectly still valley lake. Wind may come, but the lake knows how to smooth itself again. On the left shore a bamboo branch, soft where it needs to be, straight where it must stand. On the right bank, a candle, golden flame gentle, not harsh. In the far distance, a snow-capped mountain, still and silent. This picture is a map of the 10 principles inside you. We will touch each principle by feeling, not thinking. Impermanence. Watch ripples appear on the lake, then dissolve. Exhale. In mind whisper. This arises, stays, passes. Remember one small thing that came today, a message, a smile, one thing that left, a harsh word, and that feeling too will pass. Return to breath, non-self. Look at the sky above the lake, clouds drift. Birds fly, light shifts. A thought, I must, arises. Label it, thought. Let it drift like a thin cloud. You are not the cloud. You are the sky wide enough to hold every cloud. Exhale longer, return. Compassion. Gaze at the candle. Each exhale, imagine warmth spreading in your chest. Out to shoulders, down arms, into palms. Choose one neutral person from today. Maybe a clerk, a driver, someone you passed, and whisper 3 gentle wishes. May you be safe. May you be healthy. May you be peaceful. If someone was difficult, you may add, and may I hold boundaries. Warmth is felt, not just thought. Letting go. See your hand. Are you still holding something? An old story, a too full schedule, a goal that no longer fits? Imagine opening your hand underwater. A cord that hurts slipping off and drifting away. You do not sink by letting go. You become lighter to swim. Exhale. Open your hand fully. Return. Mindfulness. Bring attention to 3 contact points at once. Heels or buttocks touching seat. Back touching chair. Hands touching thighs. These are anchors to now. Inhale 4. Exhale 6. Imagine a distant point in the imagery. You are exactly where you are. Write speech. Listen to your inner voice, if it is harsh. Try editing a small sentence, brief, clear, kind, as you would speak to a tired friend. I feel tired. I will do the next right thing. Feel jaw relax when the sentence lands. Speak to yourself in voice that helps. Return. Closing and intention. Now ground your heart with a silent gratitude exercise. No need for something big. Just 3 small seeds from the day. A moment of sunshine on your table. Thank you, someone said. A minute you remembered to drink water. For each seed, inhale and name it. Exhale and smile softly. Feel chest open a little more. Gratitude is the door letting good things stay longer inside. Return. If you are going to sleep, do not strain. Change rhythm. Count your exhales from 10 down to 1, just the exhale. If mind drifts, start again from 10. If you remain awake doing gentle work, we add a short metta, loving kindness, for yourself. May I be safe. May I be healthy. May I be peaceful. For a neutral person, may you be safe. For someone difficult, may you be safe, and may I hold my boundaries. Metta is like oil smoothing the gears of tomorrow. Before closing, plant a 7-word intention for the coming day. Short, clear, practical. Go slowly, speak clearly, choose one step. Or, enough, goodwill, harmless, decide clearly. No need perfect, just real. Hold that seed in your palm, as if holding a warm pebble. Inhale, exhale, return. Now listen to what your body wants. If sleep calls, allow eyelids to weigh down. Breath lengthen. Let sounds recede like a boat pulling away from dock. If you want 1 more minute, place both hands on chest and belly. Feel them rise together with breath. Remember the simple signal. Whenever you hear or think the word, return. Exhale half a beat longer and open your hand. You are home. If it is time to open your eyes, do so gently. First light, then shape, then detail. Roll your shoulders. Stretch your neck. Place a thin smile on your lips, not because something big changed, but because you showed up fully for these few minutes. Return. When you stand, carry with you one image: bamboo branch, still lake, candle, and one obvious right step you saw. No need many, just one. And if tomorrow the wind storms, remember, you do not need the world to stop blowing to stand steady. You only need your rhythm. That rhythm comes from a longer exhale. An open hand, a clear short phrase you speak to yourself before speaking to others. That is how you live the 10 principles without having to recite them. That is how nothing can break you, not because you are hard like stone, but because you are flexible like bamboo, wide as sky, warm as candlelight, and bright like a flashlight shining into your breath. Return. 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 If you are still sitting where you are, in your familiar chair, on your warm bed, or in car parked quietly, give yourself a few more breaths to close this journey like closing a notebook with a marked page. Inhale normally. Exhale a little longer. Feel your hands loosen. In 3 hours you have traveled through 10 very human doors. Impermanence to see change as nature of life. Non-self to cling less. Compassion to let your heart heal yet hold boundary. Letting go to lighten. Mindfulness to stand present. Right speech to let words build bridges. Right thought to spare your mind unnecessary exhaustion. Right action to take steps that touch ground. Patience equanimity to hold steady heat amid short storms. And meditation wisdom to train your mind to see breathe choose. If you had to sum it up in one sentence, you do not need the world to calm for you to stand firm. You need to learn your own rhythm, and that rhythm begins with one longer exhale. One open hand, one clear short phrase you speak to yourself before speaking to anyone else. Before closing, do a very small ritual with long effect beyond tonight. Look around your space and pick one ordinary object, a cup, a pen, a small sticky note. Place it somewhere you will see in the morning and silently give it a meaning anchor. When you see it, you will remember one principle. Maybe the bamboo branch for impermanence, soft where needed, straight where needed, or the candle for compassion, warm without burning, or flashlight for mindfulness, shining exactly into your breath, or small wheel for right action. Touch down with next right step. Tomorrow morning when first light finds that object, you do not need to recall all 10. Just remember one and do one. That is how knowing becomes habit. If your schedule is already full, do not add, replace. Swap 5 minutes of news scroll first thing in morning with 5 minutes of 4 to 6 breaths. Change one self-critical email into 5 clear lines of bluff. Change one heated thread to a 15-minute direct call with aim. Swap one fault-finding comment with a description impact request. Change 10 spiraling thoughts late at night into one folded paper with 3 bullets and a time to act. Change 2 emotional outbursts on freeway into 2 quiet thoughts. May we both be safe. These very small changes, repeated, are the future you are building. Maybe you're asking, but what if I forget? What if I slip? You will forget. You will slip. That's not proof you're not good at this. That's proof you're alive. So write this simple 3-step rescue kit into your heart, to use anytime you get lost. Reset. Repair. Recommit. Reset. Pause half a beat. Exhale longer. Name what's here. Anxious, angry, tense. Repair. Fix what's in reach. Apologize. Send the right file. Reschedule. Say it more clearly. Recommit. Make a tiny, scheduled promise. Refill water. Block 20 minutes to focus. Go tech-free for 10 minutes after dinner. When you have a short, concrete path back, you can never drift too far. And if your heart still hurts sometimes, because of loss, disappointment, or the sheer unfairness of things, remember, compassion doesn't ask you to smile. It lets you cry with support, breathe with rhythm, speak with boundaries, so the door to right action stays open. 3 moments. 3 anchors. 1 ordinary day made steadier. Now imagine tomorrow passing with 3 soundless bells. In the morning, as your hand touches the doorknob, whisper to yourself. Go slow. Speak clearly. Choose 1 step. At noon, before opening that 1 email, remind yourself. Enough. Goodwill, harmless, clear decision. At night, just before bed, say softly, return. And let your exhale stretch just half a beat longer. 3 sentences, 3 small moments, 3 shifts in your nervous system. That's how an ordinary day becomes a livable one. That's how a durable life is woven, 1 thin strand at a time. If you want to go further, you can. Set a 10 to 15-minute daily breath meditation date with yourself. Try a Sunday 15-minute ritual to sort out a few knots with this loop. Keep, try, let go. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. The path belongs to the ones who keep showing up. Before we go, place 1 hand on your chest, 1 on your belly. Feel them rise and fall like 2 friends bowing to each other. Then give yourself 3 soft sentences, like warm stones to carry in your pocket. I am human, allowed to learn, slip, and adjust. I am a process. 1% a day is enough. I am a safe place. I'll begin with breath. If this felt helpful, save this message. Share it with someone who might need a quiet seat too. Subscribe if you want more practices like this to become a shared rhythm, because when a community trains together, we last longer. And if you want to say 1 final thing to yourself tonight, whisper gently, I don't need to be hard like stone to not be broken. I am bendable like bamboo, wide like the sky, warm like a candle, aware like a flashlight on breath. I return. Inhale normally, exhale longer, open your hand, smile gently. We stop here, but your path continues the moment your feet touch the floor and you choose your next obvious right step.